Can you find which one of these two TVs is the QD OLED? Now, I'm going to open this up with this blind test of sorts, just to see if you actually on camera can tell which one is the QD OLED and which one isn't. The reason I'm making this video while you are taking your time to assess through the image details and differences is because I got a comment from somebody, and I love when people challenge me. Now, as long as the world is moving, there are people that are going to rebuttal you. Of course, you don't feed into negativity, but I thought this would be a good opportunity to truly show everybody why I am the world's greatest calibrator. This isn't to toot my horn. This is to, again, tell you that when you join my membership, when you get my settings, you really are getting everything I say, and you're getting it for literally a fraction of the price of everybody else, with my results being $5 and everybody's being $500. That's a massive difference. Some people say you get what you pay for, but I like to say in these hard times, we got to look out for our own. If you have skills and you have abilities, don't be greedy. Help thy neighbor. I'm a Christian man. That is one of my big forefront beliefs, and that is why I do it that way. I am well aware I could charge hundreds upon hundreds to thousands more for what I do. I refuse to do it because I have kids. I don't know about you, but I'm struggling daily with just getting enough free time for myself, let alone being able to buy the things that I want in life, to have fun and all that good stuff. And when you finally save up enough, you want to make sure that you're being taken care of and your family's taken care of. These are things we all value and care about. And so with my settings, I make sure not just you enjoy it, but everybody in the house will be watching everything that they own like it's a brand new piece of content. That's what my service is all about. Now, that concludes the blind, test. And we're going to go ahead and tell you that to the left, we have our QD OLED, and to the right, we have our QD Mini LED TV. This is what it looks like when you have what I would only call ascension of some sort, ascended settings, because let me show you what your QD Mini LED would have looked like before. This is the best of the best minds, multitudes of years, decades in the industry, the experts of experts, calibration aficionados and enthusiasts alike will recommend you go to filmmaker mode to see a properly calibrated, not opinionated, not preference, but properly calibrated to the reference standards, Hollywood industry standards. This is as good as it gets. How they make movies, from lens to living room, so they claim. This is what it's supposed to look like to the right. You could easily find out which one is the QD OLED in that kind of way. Now, this is what it would have looked like. It would be a very easy win and a supreme victory. Through my calibration skills of getting the television that did not look great, and honestly is one of the harder TVs I've ever had to calibrate, optimize, and adjust for, getting it from that point to now this point is where we are. This is what I mean when I say, even though people don't believe in you, always believe in yourself. Always try and strive further and further. Because I've done what is essentially supposed to be impossible, okay? I've taken a TV that was never intended to look better than the Samsung S90D Quantum Dot OLED junior flagship model, and I've made it look exceptional. Not great, not kind of good, exceptional, because this is the starting point. Nobody wants to watch a picture that is muted, dead, washed out, void of life for the sake of so-called accuracy, because in the real world, accuracy doesn't look like this, where everything is washed out, there is no vibrancy. We are trying through wider color spaces like BT 2020, for example. And if you're not privy to the color space conversation, TVs have something called a color space, and that allows you to see a certain spectrum of color. We are trying to get closer to the human eye perception. That is larger than BT 2020 by a lot. And we probably will never get there, but that's the goal. More vivid, more vibrant image quality. So a lot of people in Hollywood believe that washing out your image quality below the threshold of human perceptibility is just what everyone should do. Because it's accurate, because you can see details when there's no color. Well, no shit, Sherlock. It's a black and white image, and it's basically a contrast render. Literally a black and white of total contrast. The closer you get to black and white, the more details you're going to see. So it becomes a no shit argument when they say, oh, but there's more details in filmmaker mode. No shit. You're getting closer to black and white. A total contrast negative. So I strive to find a balance between that mindset and give you not just detail, but the vibrancy, the pop, the punch, the color, the brightness. Now you tell me which one looks more like a quantum dot OLED and which one looks more like a cutie mini LED TV. I have found a way through what I would call luminance bending, which is essentially taking all the core elements of the image quality and bending the luminosity of the backlight, at least for this example, to a point where you can get tack sharp results with minimal performance impact as far as your black levels go. This is literally some unheard of shit. People don't do this in my field, okay? Everyone, and I mean everyone, they're fine with the way things are. They think it's okay if things look poorly. And I'm not that kind of guy. I will tell you, you can still obviously tell that there is a difference between these two displays. The image to the right has more haze and a full black screen, more or less, with contrasted elements or white elements that will appear here, here, and here with the droplets. You will see more haze. However, it's something that you're going to have to pick and choose if that's something that you want. Honestly, that's OLED's biggest benefit. It doesn't suffer from that haze or that ugly look. Albeit, again, it doesn't always get it right when you talk about OLED, because while these examples do look good, some examples, which you will see later on in this video, will not look as good. But again, typically when we talk about contrast, black and white, the difference between black and white, OLED has the better ability to get better contrast, not infinite, but better, because the pixels shut off. And because the pixels shut off, it creates more depth and more immersion, typically. However, there are examples where OLED will fall behind, and even though it has better contrast on something like this image, where again, there's more black, and then you have what would be considered, in this example, we're talking in terms of luminosity, white, because luminosity is talked about in those ways, in those terms, okay? So you're seeing more white than you are seeing more black, but the black is completely shut off, where here you have better brightness because the backlight drives harder and gets brighter, but it doesn't shut off completely, giving you a glow around the object because each individual pixel is not its own light source. That's the biggest benefit of OLED and why everybody goes crazy for it. It's not because we are fanboys or fangirls. That's the reality behind it. Many of you already know this, but if you're new to this kind of thing and you just want a good TV and you hear these terminologies, that's what the fuss is all about. Here is a prime example of where OLED no longer has the advantage, because now you're in what I would call more or less a 50-50 split. And that is when your contrast is equivalent mostly across the screen and it's not complex, requiring a lot of backlight dimming. When that happens, you absolutely can see what's happening right now, where there's just more shadow detail in between the trees, more contrast, more richness than what I'm getting on the S90D, where it's just more blurry by comparison to the amount of sharpness that I'm getting. Again, I want to really, really passionately double down on the fact that the TV does not come like this. You will never see this if you type in rtings.com, you go to their settings section, you plug in their values, you'll never see what I'm talking about. I will sound like I am from an entirely different plane of existence when you see the TV in Best Buy, and then you look at my video and how great I'm telling you it can be. Just like with the TCL QM7K, I will sound like a damn alien, okay? If you are going off of out-of-the-box representations of this thing. It is nowhere near my level on any level of conversation. nor are any of the industry calibrators at all. I have issued an open challenge for the better part of a decade. Not a single person online or in real life has ever stepped forward that could ever beat me. Ever. This isn't cockiness. This is the truth. Because this is the calibration standard they have. It's washed, jaundice, dead, jaundice. I mean, what really could they hope to achieve against a monster like me? You have the depth beyond what you're getting on a quantum.OLED. Look at that. It ascended beyond the realm of quantum.OLED, trespassed completely into the domain of the elite with beautiful highlight rendering, gorgeous separation of the subject from the background. It's beating what OLED is doing. Keep in mind, this is my best setting for the S90D right now. And it's getting pretty trounced in forms of contrast rendering. And you'll love this. I'm not even using contrast enhancer, which I'd have to use on the Samsung. That should tell you a lot about the capability my settings are able to put out. Because the TV by itself is pretty worthless if you're just pulling it out of the box. Because that's what you're going to get. That's what YouTubers are going to be comparing. Go watch their videos. Make sure you look at the color yellow, how it looks more green. The sky looks very pale. You got to pay attention to those things. They'll tell on themselves, right? You have none of the beautiful highlight separation. I mean, you can now see just how 3D the S90D is. But when challenged, I was able to pull out something a little extra out of the TCL. Because I don't like to be challenged like most people. And I like to prove my place in this world like everybody else. You gotta earn your keep. And you guys are seeing now it's just a difference of tonality. TCL pushes a little bit more red, Samsung pushes a little bit more green. You're seeing now I've eliminated the barrier of the conversation where OLED is the best, period. It will always be the best and you can't ever get anywhere close to OLED with cheaper TVs. Yes, the hell you can. If you got me. Because so far I haven't seen anyone else do this. Now, if there is somebody out there in the world, I'd love to meet them, shake hands, and share notes. I would love that. But I have never seen anyone on this earth capable visually of doing this. Because it always, every time, looks like this. This is what you're going to get out of the box to the right on the TCL QM7K. You spend all your hard-earned money. You work your ass off. You save. You finally get time away from the kids to build that man cave, to sit back down and relax. Well, guess what you're going to get? You're going to get washed, pukey, dead, lack of depth image quality. And you will have to pay the extra to step up into the OLED territory, QD OLED territory, if you want that depth. If you're not willing to make that leap for Quantum TV. If you do, and you have $5 to spare, it'd be the smartest $5 you've ever spent. Because it goes from that to that. Now the depth returns, the brightness returns. You can see a lot more of what looks like a sun setting. You go to this example, you can see a lot more of highlight detail that the S90D just doesn't have the ability to produce anymore after patches, of course. You can see great isolation, great detail. That doesn't mean it beats the 90D. No, not at all. But you're trespassing into its domain for damn sure. I mean, look at the mountains. You have a lot more depth and detail right here than you do over here. Now, if YouTube doesn't show what I'm explaining, then that's just YouTube. But I'm telling you what I see with my naked eye, and I could tell you, you are getting far, 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 far closer to my settings than you'd ever get out of the box with the TCL QM7K fully dialed in. Look at this. This is what you get. You pay $700, $800, whatever it ends up being, right? That's all they're going to give you. Take a good look. I mean, a good look at that. That's so-called calibrated. I need you to hear that again. This is the industry that makes your movies. The celebrities that everybody clamors over and loves and adores. And you'll have all the celebrity YouTubers come out and tell you, buy these TVs, they're amazing. Oh, filmmaker mode's the best. This is what everybody should be using. It captures the feeling perfectly. Have you ever gone outside on a sunny day that's clear in the sky, no clouds, nothing, sunny, beautiful day, and it looked like this? Have you ever seen that? No, you haven't. You've seen it look like this, though. You see all the rays of light return. There's a level of depth and dimensionality that surpasses even that of the quantum dot OLED, despite it having perfect or near perfect shut-off capabilities. You're seeing it in real time, folks. You're seeing it in real time. Look at the warmth that, I'm sorry to say, the S90D just can't produce that level of warmth right here. It can't do it. So when I tell you certain things, I really do mean it. You gotta understand, every time you turn on your TV, you are trying to see the best representation of that content. Now in this example, S90D definitely pulls ahead by a lot, but the TCL is hanging in there and it doesn't cost as much. So now we can have that conversation of, well, if it doesn't cost as much and I'm able to save some money, wouldn't I want to save some money? I don't know. That's up to you. But you can clearly see the depth, the dimensionality, everything is on an entirely different level. I mean, entirely different level. I mean, look at this image quality. Very three-dimensional, very poppy, very shock and awe. It's amazing. But again, this is what you get out of the box. And I wish I was joking. I wish I was just trying to toot my own horn and I was just bullshitting. This whole video was just me trying to make myself look good. But I promise you, that's what you're going to get. This looks so bad. I can't even tell you if YouTube's going to make it look as bad as it does, because cameras do push color correction. So some things might look oversaturated here and there or crushed here and there. But I can tell you this, that looks so damn bad versus something like this, where again, all the detail in the world. You can finally see the light throw, the light capabilities of this TV, and it becomes clear after you do this enough and you see this enough. Look at that mural. I mean, compared to the QD OLED, that lets you know the difference in contrast that you're seeing right there. It's pretty big, honestly. And this thing hasn't been patched. This is literally just all me at this point, using every tool and piece of knowledge at my disposal to create settings that far ascend and transcend anything the TCL would ever look like if I didn't do that. Because that's what you would have gotten. That shit right there is ugly. I don't know anybody that would want to watch that. Or, if you're lucky, you'll get a vivid mode that looks like this. This is about the best you're going to get. Bright as all hell, don't make no damn sense to be that damn bright, and it lacks any kind of color or detail. This is what they think you want to watch. This is what's hot in the streets right now. That shit right there. Lift the black so much that shadow detail is like too good, not too good, but like too unrealistic. You have no natural shadows. You have nothing. Versus going back to your settings here, where you have light that's, again, indicative of a dome that's encased and enclosed. You can see, again, there's going to be a difference in color. It's going to look oversaturated on YouTube, I guarantee it. There's nothing I can do about that. But you can see the difference at the least. Don't get me wrong, the S90D still wins. But this isn't an S90D lost video. However, this is telling you why I am the world's best calibrator. Because without my touch, without my help, this TV would never be in this league. Look at the amount of details. The trees separating clearly, perfectly here. I mean, to a level that is just miraculous. You can see so much detail. But if you veer away from my settings, that is what you get. This is what every Hollywood producer says is real life. Like, you go out in the real world, that's what she's gonna look like. That's what the outside is gonna look like. They are so full of shit that it's so hard to stand this even legally being allowed to be put in TVs as filmmaker mode. I genuinely wish there was a class action lawsuit taking every manufacturer to court to force them to take that real to life film, this is the director's intent bullshit off. Because this is ungraded footage. If you've ever owned a camera and you've ever shot log footage, this is exactly what it looks like. Your ungraded S-Log2, S-Log1 footage. That's what the hell it looks like out of the box. Terrible. But with me, this is what it looks like. It's not even the same fucking TV, my guy. So, this is more so a way to illustrate the benefit of the service that I offer here, and a way of being cheeky, because you guys know I love doing that too. Of letting a hater know, hey, listen, you can hate all you want. You don't have to like me. You don't have to agree with me, right? As whatever you disagree with, I could agree to disagree with anybody all day, every day. But I can tell you this, one thing that is not subject to debate. Highlight detail, depth, dimensionality like this versus this doesn't lie. Even on camera. Versus filmmaker mode, this is already calibrated. This is the best they have to offer. This is their true to life. 30 years plus, 50 years plus in an industry. Producers and studio executives, YouTubers and everybody alike. This is what makes me more qualified to speak than them. Not my opinion, not my arrogance, not anything other than my results. And my results do not lie. It trouses everybody I've ever seen and compared against. And that, my friends, is why if you don't already have one, you should definitely make sure you snag yourself a membership so your TV can ascend too. Because who the hell really wants to sit there watching dead, washed out image quality? And when you have a budget to mid-range TV like a TCL QM7K, you want as close to OLED as you can get since you bought a QD mini LED TV. With me, you're gonna get it, as you can clearly see. But if you don't, well, I guess you can just try your hand with your TV looking like this. That being said, I want to thank you guys so much for watching the #1 brand in honesty, and appreciate all you guys that are members that support what I do. And again, if you're on the fence about being a member or not, and you're looking at the TCL QM7K, yes, these are brand new settings. I will be putting that out for you. As you guys can clearly hear, my alarm is going off. I have to pick my son up from school, okay? But you guys can enjoy yourself some nice, beautiful image quality. Thanks so much for watching again, and until the next video, I'll see you guys later.